A lovely afternoon, still a festive day and period, and today we are welcome to Political Arena. So it's towards an inclusive governance in Nigeria Series 2 on Political Arena, and it is about 3 minutes past 2 o'clock. Good afternoon once again, a lovely Tuesday, 20th of July 2021. Today we're going to be talking about continuous voters registration, mobilizing women for active participation, and our lovely guest, Princess Haman Obel's founder, Electoral Hub, and joining us later, a Deputy Director from Independent National Electoral Commission, that's INEC, Ijoma Oke Igbokwe, and I am Kimberly Obieba, of course. So towards, hello Princess. Hello Princess.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
Hello. All right, it's good to have you, Princess. Yes, good to have you join us on the program today, Princess.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right, so Towards an Inclusive Governance in Nigeria is an initiative of Nigerian Women Trust Fund and supported by Open Society Initiative of West Africa. Now, an analysis of the consolidated 2017 and 2018 nationwide continuous voters registration exercise has shown that all right, so let's try again. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, well, I said it's good to have you join us, Princess.
Thank you for having me.
All right, how is the day going for you, by the way?
I'm doing well.
All right, celebrations today, or you're home, or how are you spending this day?
Oh, I'm at home working.
Oh, okay, so that's great. I'll be with you shortly. So, an analysis of the consolidated 2017 and 2018 nationwide continuous voters registration exercise has shown that male constituted 7,173,863 and females constituted 5,840,306. But women are clearly marginalized both in elective and appointive positions. And as the year goes by, there is a great need to advocate for active participation by women in politics to ensure adequate representation of women in leadership towards the 2023 elections. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, as INEC, has commenced a continuous voter registration online ahead of the 2023 general elections. How will Nigerian women do in this year's continuous voters registration process? That's what we're asking. And you can be a part of the conversation. The phone lines is 07000-917-917, and it will be open in a bit, but in the meantime, you can send your comments via our social media handle at WFM917, and you can be a part of the conversation by sending a text or WhatsApp message to 07031 756537 and listen live from any part of the world on www.wfm917.com. All right, back to you, our lovely guest, Princess. Let me ask you this. Looking at the number of women who have registered for the CVR, that's the continuous voters registration, do you think Nigerian women are ready for 2023?
Oh, yes. According to the latest data to go by INEC, INEC released that over 200 women have registered. And that was as at last week, that's 40.7% of the registrants so far. I mean, the figures are impressive, and it shows that women are not going to be left behind. They don't want to be left behind, and they want to participate. For 2019, women were 47% of the number of registrants. So, we are ready.
Okay.
Women are ready to participate. I think it has both as in 2023, but we want more than that. We want to see women contesting and winning the elections in 2023. I think this is what I'm doing.
Okay. Now, a school of thought opines that the growth on the representation of Nigerian women in leadership positions poses a severe threat to nation building and social economic growth. Do you agree?
I absolutely agree that we have underrepresentation of women in leadership positions. And this is part of why we are not progressing and developing as a nation. I mean, a nation cannot develop by just half of its population. We need our hands on the board. We need everybody working developed nation. If you look across public and private sectors, you haven't seen women in leadership positions. A nation cannot survive like that. I mean, when you see the like of Dr. Ngodi Nkeshingwela, Miss Amina Mohammed, and many other Nigerian women, the exploits that are doing outside Nigeria, you understand the importance of having them lead in Nigeria. If we have women doing so well internationally, imagine to give them positions within what our nation will become. I strongly believe that women should be given leadership roles in Nigeria. That's the only way we can move forward.
All right, on the representation of Nigerian women in leadership positions, could this be that not enough women support women?
No, that is a narrative from the pit of hell.
Okay.
And that's a narrative that we need to put as women.
All right.
Women support women. Women are women's biggest supporters.
Okay.
Women support women.
All right. So what is the place of political parties in training, fundraising, and campaigning for women to ensure that more women contest for positions come 2023?
They have a major role to play. I mean, in Nigeria, we don't have independent parties yet, so political parties are still the only vehicle by which you become a leader. So they have a major role to play. And one of the things they need to do, they need to, be intentional and deliberate in their recruitment, in their training, fundraising and campaigning for women. They need to give women space within the leadership of the parties. If women and men lead parties, our political parties will be better. They can compete internationally. They'll be showing up best practices in terms of their structure, in terms of their processes, in terms of their actions, in terms of their engagement with the public, in their policy, in the way they engage national issues and discourses. But presently, there are poorly political parties are doing in terms of national discourses and policies and things happening. Because there is the capacity is not there. I'm not talking because I'm not allowing women coming, a different view, different perspective that will enrich your process. That is need to ensure that there is sufficient number of women across all party practices, from being delegates to primaries, to ensuring that they are members of the next. And not just making them just share leaders or people that come and cook for people to reach. They need to be there. They need to participate. They need to have a voice. They need to have a presence. That's the only way they can move forward. And they need to be deliberate in terms of funding women that run for offices. They know that historically women are disadvantaged in terms of resources. So it's not just the different concessions in terms of fees for forms or what have you. They need to be deliberate in terms of ensuring that they fund them for primaries and they fund them for elections to win positions. We need to go beyond words. We need to really have actions now to make the difference.
All right, 11 minutes past 2 o'clock towards an inclusive governance in Nigeria. Series 2 on Political Arena. That's on WFM 91.7. And we're looking at continuous voters registration, mobilizing women for active participation. We have our lovely guest, Princess Haman Obelt, founder, Electoral Hub. And joining us later, of course, a deputy director from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Ijoma Oke Ebukwe, and I am Kimberly Obiego. Now, Towards an Inclusive Governance in Nigeria is an initiative of Nigerian Women Trust Fund and supported by Open Society Initiatives of West Africa. Now, what is the role of women leaders in mobilizing women to participate in the continuous voters registration process, Princess?
Like political parties, they have a major role. I mean, you had a statement to say that women don't support women, which I said was not true. And one of the ways that I also showed that it's not true. Women leaders need to mobilize women. They need to sensitize. They need to really carry out aggressive campaign drives to mobilize women to participate in the CBR process. I mean, the more women we can have as registered voters, the better for the prospect for women as well. In terms of having your base, having enough voters in your base that can vote you into office. So women leaders need to use their beds of influence to ensure that they mobilize support. Mobilize within their parties as well, and mobilize outside their parties.
Okay. Now you can be a part of the conversation if you're listening to us right now by calling 07000 917 917. That's 07000 917 917. Send a text or WhatsApp message to 070 317 56537. That's 070 317 56537. Now, Princess, what can civil society organizations do to sensitize women on the importance of the CVR?
Okay, society is already doing something. We need some kind of sensitization, but maybe we need to be more aggressive. So aggressive in a positive way. Especially reaching out to marginalized groups, like women in IDP camps, for example. We have a huge number of women in IDP camps. We need to target specific groups with the CVR to get them to register, to get them to participate. You know, we can do that with, physically, for IDP camps. But at least for younger women, we can use the social media to target them because, there are more younger people on social media. So it's really an effective tool to sensitize them, to recognize that, there is this intersectionality in terms of women identity. So we don't just have women just being women. There's women, there's generational, there's visional, there's social economy, there's all sorts of identities around women. So understanding that there's intersectionality in identity of women will help us to mobilize them effectively to participate in CVR and also come as candidates to be voted for as well. Yeah.
All right. So in your opinion now, let's get your opinion on this. Looking at the 2019, general elections, do you think women can do better towards the 2023 elections? Are there things that women should do differently?
Yeah. It's always good to learn lessons. Learning lessons, going back, helps us to plan better for the future. 2019 we were poor in terms of our representation, but then we had more people come out to participate to contest like positions between women than 2015. So that's the positive part of it. Yeah. So, but going forward, we need to change strategy.
Okay.
We need to change the way we engage. And not just work on a different platform. So yeah, the bigger parties, APC, PDP, better place to get women in positions because they have more structure, they have more funds and all of that. So you could also work with smaller parties who have strong votes at their local levels to run for positions. Yeah?
Okay. All right.
So,
all right, hold on. I think we have a call. Hello, good afternoon. All right. We got, that was wrong. All right, go ahead, please, Princess.
Yeah, so I was saying that if you look at the statistics, so you have more women contesting on the smaller parties than the bigger parties, because the smaller parties provided opportunities for that. So going forward, we need to also push and engage the bigger parties to ensure the key spaces for women to contest, because they have the structures, they have the finances to ensure women vote. Let's keep the romantic or idealistic parts aside. Elections cost money, huge money to run elections for any position in Nigeria. Logistics is huge. And we need to have the necessity and structure to be able to run that.
All right, we've had this call coming in. Let's see who it is. Hello, WFM? No, this is WFM, please. Political Arena on air right now. Okay. All right, so go on. You were talking about what women can do differently. Are you done with that, Princess?
Yeah, I was saying that we need to strategize differently.
Okay.
We need to actually start being paramount within political parties, within civil societies, within private sectors that can identify. We need to start looking at support networks, associations. If you go across many of the countries in Africa, especially, let me use in Africa. Talk about Senegal. Women association played a long role to change women representation in that country. In Kenya, Rwanda, everywhere you go, women association played a long role. And there was issues of power mapping. Looking for issues, looking for advocates, looking for campaigners, people that will stand to say, okay, this is enough. We need to change that. You cannot do things the way we've been doing things and think we can get different results. So they need to go back to the table to strategize, to come up with more innovative, more creative ways to change the reality in terms of women representation.
All right, so now how about women in rural communities? How can we ensure that women in rural communities participate in the continuous voters registration?
Okay, like I said earlier, I mean, the general tendency for us to focus on social media or traditional media as a way of engaging people. But really, women in rural communities might not have the access or that capability. So the way to target them would be physical outreach programs. And radios, because I think radios are everywhere in Nigeria. So use radios. So radios are also available in rural areas. So some radios are not necessarily available in rural areas. So radios that have rural reach. So you could use that. But really, it's really about physical outreaches, physical meetings, physical programs of sensitization to them, to get them to register. I probably also help them in terms of actually using their devices to register, or can provide devices for them to register. I will not assume that rural women necessarily have phone to be able to do their own voter registration. So there might be need to help them with all of that. I educate them in terms of the process of registration and all they need to get their registration completed.
All right, be a part of the conversation. If you'd like to comment, you can call the studio line on 07000 917 917. That's 07000 917 917. Send a text or WhatsApp message to 070 317 56537. That's 070 317 56537. Princess, you mentioned funds earlier as a constraint. How do you think we can get women with financial resources to support female participants with their votes and funds?
We need to start engaging them. Engaging them, conduct advocacy with them. But really, to start also letting them know the benefits they would get from supporting women. The whole idea of leadership projects. The whole idea that there was a godmother as a quote, but not the way Godfathers behave or necessarily godmother in terms of fairy godmother,
Yeah.
So there's a need to, engaging at that level. Let women with resources invest. So see it as investment. So investment, not the way the Godfathers do.
Okay.
But investment in terms of, let's even call it corporate social responsibility. How do you want to contribute to your community? So sponsor a woman to run for politics. And the woman push for policies that are communal, policies that are social, policies that are economic, policies that are empowering, to uplift the community. So, there are different ways to look at this thing. That's one way to look at it. To get women, but you need to also engage them, be able to show them the importance of things, the benefits from it, both short-term and long-term benefits from supporting women candidates.
Okay.
So you have to,
yeah, go ahead.
Women with resources. But also look at men with resources supporting as well.
Okay. All right. Now, 2023 is drawing near, and sometimes electoral management bodies are unaware of the hindrances to... Okay, my producer is trying to get this question across. We'll get back to that one. But let's understand your thoughts on mentorship now. What are your thoughts on mentorship, whereby women in leadership positions begin to mentor others who are trying to come on board?
Yeah, I think mentorship is absolutely important, to get younger women. But you see, leadership, mentorship is not really necessarily those in politics in terms of, say, female politicians. You also have people, technical people that are very good in the politics of things, that can mentor younger women, prepare them for the journey ahead. Because, you're young, you're coming into this space, you probably don't understand what it entails. You probably don't understand the kind of things you face. Be called as all sorts of names, and even being speaking or attacked physically. The story of just telling you that when you go for all these things, you have to wear like 4 clothes. So, depending on the situation, you might have to remove some clothes, but you always have to have something that so that you can run or jump fence or something if there's danger and all of that. I mean, you need to be able to listen to these stories. And the only way you appreciate this, when you have older women engaging with younger people, to tell them the road ahead, kind of things on, you know, politics ain't really social theory. Politics has been termed as war.
Okay.
And it's true, it's war. Politics is different. Politics is not friendship.
Okay.
And I think we need to understand that. You need to understand what politics is. When going into politics, there's a saying that some of us just assume, no, politics has to be nice. You know, it's not nice. That's why it's politics. So you need to understand reality about politics and political terrain.
All right. Now, what advice would you give to women who will be running for offices come 2023?
I advise them to really show their competency. We did a research, one of the things I run through is that people will leave opinion that are capable and competent. So they need to show their competencies, they need to show their capabilities, and of course, they also need to show what they have done for their community. When you ask community members, they want to see people that have been engaging with the community. You can have somebody just come out of nowhere. You've been staying in Abuja, which is the tendency in some cases, especially from men. You've been staying in Abuja all your life. Then just decide I want to run for politics for 2023. And December 2022, you decide to go for an election that is February to go and telling people that you want to run for politics. How about now? Who will vote you? They don't even know you.
Okay.
So it's not going to treat them right and speak and what they are doing December 2022 for a February 2023 elections and I will not make people vote you. You need to already be part of the community. They need to already know you and what you've been doing for the community. That is very important. So in terms of running for office, it's a long-term process, you know, and we women too, we need to start planning. I keep saying this. Between me and you and many people, we already know the men that want to be president. We know the men that want to be governors in our state, senators and House of Reps. How many women do you know that are interested in these positions?
Okay.
Which connect you that wanted to run for Anambra? This year we start hearing she wants to run for Anambra. But we knew Soludo wanted Anambra governorship election too. So this is the difference. Women need to start doing things properly. You cannot be saying because you're a woman that you think spaces will just open for you. You also need to do the work.
What are some of the things you're suggesting? Yeah, when you say do things differently, what are some of the things you're suggesting women do differently?
So, for example, start saying that elections are not events. Elections are a process. The beginning of an election is the end of the beginning of a new election, is the end of the old one. So, for example, 2023 started the day Professor Mahmoud Yakub, the chairman of TIGN, declared the presidential results. 2023 started. So once one election finishes, the post-election activities for that election are actually the pre-election activities for the next elections. So women need to start understanding working along the electoral cycle. So the minimum you need to put in is 4 years to win, to think of an election. You need to put in 4 years of work. So you want 2023 should have started 2019.
Okay.
So you always have to think of it in long term. It's not an immediate thing. You have to plan it properly. And the best thing to do, just like elections are planned around the circle, you plan your electoral career along the circle as well. So that's one way we need to approach increasing women political representation in Nigeria. Yeah.
All right. Before we get your final words, final thoughts, what steps can female leaders take in ensuring that women are rightly positioned in the media ahead of 2023? You talked about women putting themselves out there more ahead of the 2023 elections. So now what steps can female leaders take in ensuring that women are rightly positioned in the media ahead of 2023?
Rightly positioned in the media, engage the media more. I mean, you have a media like yours, fantastic, women radio. Why don't you have more women, keep their voice out there through your media? And we need to also push for the temporary special measures, what we call redressing or gender protest. That is just one way to go. I mean, any country, to go across the world, anywhere in the world, where you had increased women representation, it was through special measures. There was not any bullets. There was not any magic or silver bullets from anywhere. Through special measures. Of course, special measures through either legislative quotas or voluntary political parties quota. Any means you choose. we must have special measures to ensure women representation. And in terms of, and media, even if the women don't come to also reach out. We traditionally be say, okay, women don't have that boldness. No, not enough say boldness, not enough the word boldness. So this whole idea of just coming and gathering and all of that, especially in this context, might not be that. So sometimes you also need to reach out to that.
All right. So
put them out, yeah.
All right, let's get your final words.
We need to legislate special measures for women to increase their representation across board.
Okay. All right then.
Mm.
That was precise. Thank you very much. Thank you for staying with us, Princess. It's towards add inclusive governance in Nigeria on political arena on WFM 91.7, where we discuss politicking in Nigeria. Towards an inclusive governance in Nigeria is an initiative of Nigerian Women Trust Fund and supported by Open Society Initiative of West Africa. On political arena today, we are discussing continuous voters registration, mobilizing women for active participation. Now this is political arena on WFM 91.7, and it's about 2:30. That's 30 minutes to the top of another hour. And my name is Kimberly. And shortly, Ijoma Okegbope, who is Deputy Director from Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, she'll be joining us. And we get to hear her thoughts on this as well. Princess has spoken well. And don't forget that an analysis of the consolidated 2017 and 2018 nationwide continuous voters registration exercise has shown that male constituted 7,173,863 and female constituted 5,840,306. But women are clearly marginalized, both in elective and appointive positions. And as the year goes by, there is a great need to advocate for active participation by women in politics to ensure adequate representation of women in leadership positions towards the 2023 elections. The Independent National Electoral Commission has now commenced the continuous voters registration, that's CVR, online ahead of the 2023 general elections. Now, how will Nigerian women do in this year's continuous voters registration process? That's what we're asking. Be a part of the conversation. 07000 917 917. That's 07000 917 917. And the phone line is open. You can also send your comments via our social media handle at WFM 917. You can also send a text or WhatsApp message to 07031 756537. That's 07031 756537.
1, 2, 3.
Registered for the CVR. Do you think Nigerian women are ready for 2023?
Yeah, I think the answer is yes. Because I was just looking at the data for 19, we have over 220,000 women, females that have registered. So I'm sure they are ready.
Okay. All right. Now, a school of thought opines that the gross underrepresentation of Nigerian women in leadership positions poses a severe threat to nation building and socio-economic growth. Do you agree with this?
Completely, I do.
How so?
Yeah.
Let us know why you agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that because it's not balanced. You see, the beauty of democracy is in its diversity and inclusiveness. So when every group is represented, then every concern is addressed. But if the groups are not represented, their concerns will not be addressed. So when we have underrepresentation of women in the system, obviously issues that concern women cannot be addressed. Things like maternal health care, things like girl child education, things like rape, and crime against women will not come to the fore, will not be discussed. So when we have also the youth, issues of the youth will come to the fore. The unemployment rate, their education, they will be there to discuss. Talk about the persons with disability, access will be at the front burner so that they have access to everything, they need. So I think that when women are underrepresented, it affects development, yes.
So what would you say is the cause of the underrepresentation? Do you think, I asked a question earlier, I was going to ask that, is it meaning that not enough women support enough women to leadership positions? Or you think, what exactly is the cause of the underrepresentation for you?
Well, we've been on this for a long time. We're in a patriarchal society, and it is very well misunderstood. The issue, even the religion, the traditional rulers, women are supposed to be seen and not heard. So because of that, women even accept it as their own. This is our nature. So the education is both ways, making people to know that women should be seen and heard, and also making women to believe that they could be seen and heard. So those are the issues, traditional issues, maybe funding, although I don't really emphasize money in politics because democracy is a game of numbers. So when you begin to talk much about money, people get distracted. But when people do their networking very well and make impact in the society, you find out that people will vote for them, people will rally around them, people will campaign for them. So I think our major problem is the issue of patriarchy, and we need to address it squarely.
So now I'm going to ask you, how would you rate the performance of the few women in appointive and legislative positions? How would you rate the performance so far?
Well, you see, it's unfair to rate them, especially women in elective positions, especially those in the National Assembly. A situation where you have 108 and then, and you have only 8 females, no matter what they say, their voices will just be swallowed. Like I always say, democracy is a game of numbers. So how many people will they lobby? How many people will vote when they bring up an issue? So with their number, it will be unfair to assess them. So if there were many, you can now say, yes, we don't have any female governor. So when you're a deputy governor, definitely you take directives. I know that there are constitutional responsibilities, but they're still subject to your leader, to your, let's say, superior now. So we can't really judge them at this point.
Okay. All right then. So now, what is the place of political parties in training, fundraising, and campaigning for women to ensure that more women contest for positions come 2023?
Well, they're supposed to do that. But INEC cannot interfere with the activities. They have the constitutional duties to run their political parties the way they want. They have even their own constitution. So we encourage them to make sure that every sector, every group, not just women alone, are visible in the political space. So we expect them to do a lot of trainings. We expect them to encourage women. The expectation and the actual, there's a gap between the expected and the actual position. So we keep encouraging them to do that. And we expect the women in elective positions to also encourage their political parties to go into training, to go into mentoring, so that more women will come on board. Democracy is not just about voting and holding positions. It also has to do a lot with civic education, which we are not really seeing much around us when it comes to the political parties, and we encourage them to do that.
All right. Let's talk about the role of the women leaders we have now. What is the role of women leaders in mobilizing more women to participate in the continuous voters registration process? Do they have a role in this?
Everybody has. When it comes to INEC activities, we don't really want to narrow it down to women. you know, because I've come to realize too that when we narrow it down to women, it's like there's a competition between the men and the women, us and them. So we encourage everybody to come up. And when we talk, actually now, you know, INEC has the full department for gender and inclusiveness. So we talk to women, encourage women to come out, you know, and vote and register. Those who have not registered, we hold seminars for women. Then when it comes to the grassroots, we encourage everybody to encourage everybody to do that. So that let there be no dichotomy about, okay, so women, that's all you're supposed to do. Women are actually supposed to encourage the youth because they're their children. So I want women to graduate from the level of being encouraged to being the encouragers of this process.
How about civil society organizations? What can they do to sensitize women on the importance of the CVR?
Yes, we have a lot of gender focal CSOs, and we relate with them, and they speak to women to get involved, you know, and they are quite involved in this registration exercise, you know, but I know you're comparing them with men, that's why, you know, the comparison is tricky. But I know that when we go manual, that will start from Monday. When we go manual, more women will come on board, I'm sure of that. And facts even reveal that women, you know, they really come out in their numbers when it comes to elections. So we can't judge them low now. I know that they will come on board faster once we go manual, yes.
All right, a look at the last elections, that's the 2019 general elections. Do you think that women, in your opinion, can do better towards next elections come 2023?
Yes, everybody can do better, actually. Women can. You know, the fact of our life is that you keep improving on what you're doing.
Yeah.
So women can do better. But like INEC will always, you know, interact with women immediately after elections and all that. So I don't know, it's still a concern that women wait till the last day to begin to talk about elective positions and who to vote for. And I always give an example of Rwanda. You know, I read an article and you know, they say that women go from house to house encouraging women to vote for women. That it's not what we have here. You find out that women will even prefer to support the men than to support the women, which I think is the patriarchal doctrine that is already in us.
Okay.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I encourage women because you can always do better. Whatever you have achieved, you can always do better. So women can always improve in the political setting if they make up their minds to do that.
You know, some people would question, away from this now, some people would question the physical might, or how do I frame this now? Some people would say that there are roles that are built for women, and some would argue that leadership roles isn't one of them, given that women can be emotionally vulnerable more often than not. Our emotions can change, and they feel that we are not emotionally or mentally equipped to handle certain roles. What do you have to say about that?
I don't agree with that. You know, because I know that, in fact, women are in a position to hold leadership positions better because women sacrifice more. In normal life, ordinary normal life, let's take off the political setting now. You see the mother in the house, she may look fragile, but she is multitasked. She takes care of her family, she goes to work, she makes sure everybody feeds, she does everything, you know, in the house, and still strong. So when people say that, I laugh. Women are really born managers. They control their finances, no matter the amount of money you give the woman, she will try to make sure that every aspect of the house is taken care of. More than men, you know. So when people say emotion, everybody has emotions, and you can't say women are more. Fine, we cry more.
Yeah, Theresa May
tells men that they should not cry. So it doesn't mean that their inability to cry is even weakness. Honestly, because
would it be fair? Would it be fair to say that you remember that Theresa May, the former British Prime Minister, she broke down in tears when she had to step down, and a lot of people, that triggered the conversation some more that maybe women cannot actually handle leadership positions, irrespective of race or tribe now. So it's like, do you think that's a fair conversation to have? Continue what you're saying now. Would it just be fair to say, okay, one woman broke down in tears that she cannot handle the responsibility? Does that mean that every other woman cannot?
I think it's unfair. Even breaking down in tears, I mean, it's no weakness. It's no weakness at all. Even in my Bible, I read that at a point Jesus broke down in tears. It didn't make him weak in any way. So I don't even see it as a weakness. I just feel it's unfair. Now, women are honest. Anything they cannot handle to a point, they are transparent. They'll tell you, I cannot. So why deceive people when you cannot do something, you just grandstand that you can do it? That's the aspect of women that I really admire. Okay. At a point, they cannot handle a particular issue. They will just say, I cannot handle it. And another person who will handle it will come on board. And that's what we need in our society to grow. Not somebody grandstanding, I will do it, and the person will not do it, and the society is decaying. Okay. So that one is actually out of the question. I don't even think it's...
So for you, it's a strength, not a weakness. All right, it's towards an inclusive governance in Nigeria, Series 2 on Political Arena. And we're looking at continuous voters registration, mobilizing women for active participation. We have our guest, Ijoma Oke Igbokwe, a Deputy Director from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and I am Kimberly Ubiebo. Towards an inclusive governance in Nigeria is an initiative of Nigerian Women Trust Fund and supported by Open Society Initiative of West Africa. Now let's talk about women in... What would you advise? What advice would you give to women who would be running for office or offices come 2023?
Yeah, one advice I will give is that they should network. We network a lot. Women, we belong to so many groups, we belong to so many associations, and we go for meetings morning till night. But I keep wondering to what result. So we should network very well. Wherever we are, we should make our impact felt, in the society. You see, the society we are living in now, we are just drifting from our normal communal society where everybody knows everybody to individualistic, way of life. So you live in an estate, for instance, you even know your next door neighbor. And you tell me you want to run for an elective position. It doesn't make sense. So any woman that wants to run for elective position, start very early. Not the year you want to start. It's a long-term project, and that's why I encourage Catch Them Young programs. I think also that the women in elective positions, the politicians should be able to groom other women, so that from secondary school you are eyeing the parliament, you are eyeing governorship, you begin to build your friends from secondary school, build up your own world. And when your secondary school mates hear that, you want to run for presidency, and they know the type of person you are, you don't need to pay them. They will campaign for you. So women should actually start early and make their impact felt anywhere they are, in the church, in the mosque, on their streets, in their villages, knowing that tomorrow comes, you will need these people. So that's just what I think we should advise them to do. And also to campaign in line with their strength.
Okay.
It's like, there's this competition between us and men. There is no competition between women and men. A man is a man, he knows what to do best. A woman is a woman, she knows what to do best. So the issue of what a man can do, a woman can do better, doesn't just come in at all. What a woman can do, she can do better. Campaign from your strength. And when you're campaigning, say things that you would do.
All right.
I don't want people, okay, let me just talk. No. If a woman campaigns from the strength of welfare, which we are known for by nature, taking care of people, handling people's problems, and you'll find out that you carve out a niche for yourself. And people who are interested in that will say, we need this kind of person in our society.
All right. We're almost out of time now. Thank you so much. It's been great talking with you. Really insightful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So to wrap this up, women need to participate in the continuous voters registration to enable them get their permanent voters card. That's us now. To enable us vote for our desired candidates who will in turn approve and make gender-sensitive policies that will enhance our lives and empower us. So women need to work together to ensure that we occupy more elective positions in political parties and government. Women need to begin to develop ourselves on every aspect to ensure that we are found capable of these positions on the challenge of the election. Thank you so much to our guest, Ijoma Oke Ibukwe, Deputy Director from Independent National Electoral Commission, and of course Princess Hanan Obels, Founder, Electoral Hub. It has been towards an inclusive governance in Nigeria on Political Arena, and this continues next Tuesday at 2 p.m. on Women Radio 91.7. Thanks to the production team led by Esther Alaribe and Tunde Oloake. And Towards an Inclusive Governance in Nigeria is an initiative of Nigerian Women Trust Fund and supported by Open Society Initiative of West